The WNBA Draft lottery went down on Sunday with the Indiana Fever getting the first overall pick in the draft for the second consecutive year. The New York Liberty, they are picking 11th in the upcoming draft. So it's time for some WNBA talk. We're going to chat with the great W reporter and founder of Girls Talk Sports TV, Khristina Williams. Khristina, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Dexter. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a while. And Khristina, the Fever, they get the top pick again. They picked Aaliyah Boston earlier this year in the draft. Caitlin Clark, likely to be the #1 overall pick in next year's draft. How good do you think a Clark-Boston duo can be for the Fever?
Yeah, Dexter, as you said, she's likely that #1 pick. We know that should she declare for the 2024 draft, there's no doubt in my mind that she is going to be that #1 pick. We do know that she has an extra year of eligibility due to the COVID waiver, so she can actually forego the 2024 draft and wait till 2025. But Caitlin Clark, I think that she is ready to play in the WNBA, and to see a player like her pair with someone like Aaliyah Boston, who was Rookie of the Year, I think that is what fans want. It's what the league would want to see. She's proven herself to be an efficient scorer and playmaker, and that is something that the Indiana Fever is definitely looking to improve that. And so I think Caitlin Clark can definitely help, especially because this past season we saw how much the Indiana Fever struggled to score behind the arc. They did really well in the paint, but I think that if you pair, an elite guard like a Caitlin Clark with an Aaliyah Boston, I think that the future of the Indiana Fever is bright. And Lynn Dunn said that her focus when she became the GM was to just focus on improvements year over year. We saw that this season they won 13-27, which was 5-27 the year before. And so I think that the Indiana Fever, under the leadership of Lynn Dunn, they're heading in the right direction in terms of their rebuild. And so I think that Caitlin Clark should be great for this team. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
We'll have to wait and see, but you're right about that 8-game improvement from 2022 to 2023 for the Fever. Gotta like what's going on there. Now, the Liberty, local team, we got to talk about them. They pick 11th. We know, we've talked about this before, Khristina, they're going to look to upgrade the roster this offseason. Do you see New York holding on to their pick or trading it either to move up in the draft or to acquire a veteran player from another team?
I think when it comes to strategy, I don't think anything is off the table when it comes to this New York Liberty team. Jonathan Kolb, he made it very clear in last year's free agency that he wanted to put together a roster that could field a championship. And we saw how close the New York Liberty got in doing that in the 2023 season. This is a team with over $700,000 in cap space. We know that they had extended the contracts of Benai Laney, Caleb Thornton, and Sabrina Ionescu. Courtney Vandersloot is on a protected veterans contract. And then you have Brianna Stewart, who's expected to be cored, and the Liberty are also expected to re-sign John Paul Jones, who's an unrestricted free agent coming into this free agency. So they're trying to keep their core together. In exit interviews, Cole also said that he wanted to improve the bench, especially at the defensive position. And we saw in the offseason how trades worked in the Liberty's favor. And so, again, I don't think that anything's off the table when it comes to the strategy of making this team better, especially at that backcourt position, and especially adding some more defensive pieces that could help them win a championship possibly in 2024.
You and I have talked about this, Khristina, coming off of last year, that the perimeter defense, I was going to say defense overall, but the perimeter defense is something Liberty would definitely look to improve. If they do select a player in next year's draft, what type of young player do you believe they will select? Will it be somebody with more offensive talents, or do you see them looking for a young player that could help them on the perimeter?
Absolutely. I mean, in exit interviews, again, Jonathan Kolb said that he realized in the 2023 season that the bench was big heavy, and that in 2024, maybe he would want to switch to getting longer, maybe adding a wing, maybe adding someone who could ball handle. But I think the primary thing was getting better defensively. And so the mock drafts right now at 11, you hear people talk about Charisma Osborne out of UCLA, someone who's a good two-way player. J.C. Shelton out of Ohio State as well is a player that the Liberty can look at, someone who could change games defensively. And so I think that going into next year's draft, the Liberty, again, will look to find guards who are versatile, find guards who can also be effective on both the offensive end and the defensive end as well.
There you go. You can never have enough good two-way players, and Liberty will see if they can add some more to the roster this offseason. Draft is coming up. WNBA offseason is about to heat up. Khristina is about to be really busy. We know that. Khristina, always good talking to you, and we will talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dexter.